What if I told you one of the most powerful customer experience tools isn't a loyalty program, a discount, or even a great product? It's a gift, but not just any gift, one that's personal, unexpected, and designed to make someone feel seen and special. My guest today has built an entire business around that insight. Elisabeth Vezzani is the co-founder and CEO of Sugarwish, the company that reinvented corporate gifting by letting recipients choose exactly what they want. From candies and cookies to coffees, cocktail, candles, and so much more. What started as a simple idea has grown into a huge business that's helped organizations create millions and millions of memorable touch points and also given back in some pretty incredible ways that you'll hear about. In this conversation, we're talking about entrepreneurship, customer experience, employee experience, creating emotional connections at scale, and why giving people choice can be one of the most powerful tools in your toolset to create more superfans. You're also going to get a pretty sweet offer that, trust me, you don't want to miss. I'm Brittany Hodak. This is the Creating Superfans podcast. Let's jump in. Elisabeth, thank you so much for joining me today.
Oh, thank you for having me. I'm excited. I'm excited for this conversation.
Yes, I have been looking forward to it as well because I have sent dozens of Sugarwish gifts over the past few months. I always love sending them. I always love receiving them. And I'm curious, it seems like such a simple but powerful idea behind the company. What was the aha moment that led to Sugarwish, that led to sort of reimagining the way that people do gifting?
Yeah, I mean, there are a couple moments that came together. My co-founder Leslie Lyon and I were on the sideline of a soccer game that our sons were playing in, and I was complaining at the time. I was sending business gifts, and was kind of complaining like I can't send another gift card. Like it just doesn't help you stand out. Nobody really is interested. It just doesn't do what you're trying to do. You're trying to spread joy, or have a connection. And just, although the ease was there and I liked how easy it was, it just was not, it wasn't what I was looking for. And so I was just kind of complaining about that. And then Leslie had been talking about a story where she lived in New York City. And one of her favorite parts of the workday was going down, there were candy stores all over, and going and just picking, her favorite candy, putting it in a little bag, and the anticipation of having it later, of some childhood nostalgic favorites. So we were like, God, what if we could create something that gave people that feeling, that like kid in the candy store feeling, not to be cliche, but really that feeling like I want, oh, Swedish fish, oh, bit of honeys, oh, the little joy you get. And if we could bring that to people's work or their phone or where they're getting things done. So we decided, let's create it. So we worked for about a year while we were both working elsewhere and at nights and weekends and just making this come true. And we called it Sugar Wish because it would be your wish, your what you want when you send it to someone. So we created where you could send it it's as easy as buying a gift card, but personal and fun and stand out and really provide that joy. So you pick a size and then you send it and they go in the candy store. It started as a candy store, and they go in and pick their favorites. So you say how many choices they get. So they have 2 choices, 4, 8, 24, and they go in and pick their favorites, enter their email, and then we put it in beautiful packaging and send it right to their door. So that was kind of the aha moment that you could create something that seems so simple, but did deliver on, no pun intended, on why you're sending a gift in the first place, is to have that feeling, to create joy. And that's the story. That's how it was 13, 14 years ago, and that we were working out of Leslie's pantry, and that we've been doing it ever since. And now we have popcorn, cookies, wine, candles. We try to find anything that is fun to pick, that you don't necessarily know what it's their favorites, and really does give that feeling that you're trying to send.
Yeah, that's been one of my favorite things is so for anybody who hasn't sent a sugar wish, you can choose different categories for the recipient to make their choice from. So as you said, popcorn, pantry, a spa, one that's for dogs, and it's fun because they don't always choose what you expect them to choose, and so it's been a really fun way to get to know people. We'll get to the categories in a minute because I want to know what some of your favorites are and what that evolution has been. But first, one of the things that I really appreciate about Sugar Wish is in my keynotes, I talk about the need to balance high tech and high touch. And Sugar Wish is genuinely one of the best examples I can think of a company doing that because from the sender side, it's just as easy to send in bulk as it is to send to a girlfriend. And so to be able to, like on Valentine's Day, I think I sent like 35 out and I didn't upload a spreadsheet, but you can. And it's so simple on the back end, but on the front end, it feels so personal. So I want you to talk about some of those intentional touches that you've engineered into the process, both for the sender and the recipient, because there are things that are so thoughtful and so well curated that honestly, I'm shocked other people like haven't started copying.
So, I mean, people they're just missing kind of the heart.
The
So we've
intentionality, yeah.
seen, yeah, so we've seen copycats and they do where you can send it and you pick, but it back to the whole point of sending a gift is you want people to feel seen. You want them to be excited about what they got, that it's not just stuff. In a world where everybody they can go on Amazon, you can have something show up at your door. You can, the gifting it's not really, although whatever you send, you want it to be wonderful. So, we make sure the cookies are fantastic and the brownies are delicious and the coffee and tea we choose. But it's really that they feel like you are doing this and you see them. And so everything we do, we start with the purpose. Like, why are they sending this? It's to delight their employees or have them feel recognized or as a reward, or what are they trying to accomplish? And then we build it from there so that it still feels like you could send 1,000 and it really does take God. Like I always like to say, like if you went through it start to finish, you really could get out of there in like 2 minutes. But it doesn't. We make sure it never feels that way. And even though it's used as corporate gifts, we don't want it to feel like a corporate gift. So we make sure every single thing we do, we start with like, is this delightful? Is it delightful for the person who's sending it? Even is the process delightful? And then when the receiver comes to pick their gifts, we want all of that to feel fun. So, we always talk about like the fun part of shopping, where the fun part of shopping is like looking through the choices. The parts that aren't fun of shopping are the how much shipping is this? How much does it cost? Someone sent me $50. I can spend 28 on this and then but I have to do shipping and taxes, and we took all of that away. Like you're only just giving them choices and they don't see a dollar amount. It's just they know they have two choices or four choices or or they can pick from candles or whatever you've given them choices, wine. So we always try to keep that as easy as it is for the buyer and delightful for them to send, but just fun. Like with the experience is part of the gift, and it's the gift and the experience, and we make sure we take that to heart, and we do all the little things. Like we make sure the boxes are, like I'll just grab the boxes are exquisite so that when you're sending a gift, it's showing up and it's wow, like right out of the box, every single thing and their choices, every packaging we do, we agonize over to make sure it's beautiful and delivers on the promise. So yeah.
Well, you guys have done such a great job. And two of the pain points that I always struggled with corporate gifting that you have eliminated. One is with flowers. I mean, there's entire TikTok channels and subreddits dedicated to like what I ordered, what they got, right? Like it's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
so unpredictable. You're spending money on something, you're trusting like a local delivery partner or maybe a big company that who does then outsourcing it to a local delivery partner in maybe a place you've never even been. And then, your heart sinks a little bit when you see that
Yeah.
what you ordered is
No,
like nowhere close.
that was not what you showed me. Yeah.
Exactly, exactly. And sometimes you're like, "Wow, okay, I spent like $150 and they got something that looks worse than like a $20 grocery store bouquet," right? Like that
Yeah.
sort of disconnect. And then the other thing that honestly I can't believe so many companies still get this wrong and haven't solved for it is the note. And oftentimes companies either are charging you way more money to put a card or a note inside. They're capping it at like 50 characters. So you can't even, like for me, sometimes I can't even say like from Brittany, Jeff, Cato, and Jones. Like I can't even sign all of our names as I'm
You're
saying
like,
like Beth
from
Hodak.
B. Good luck figuring
Exactly.
out who it is. Yeah.
From an admirer, right? We don't even have enough characters to say secret admirer. Or that gift message is just printed on the packing slip or the actual label, the shipping label outside of the box,
Oh,
where
yeah, I
people
hate
miss it. Like I can't tell you the number of times I've followed up with somebody, usually who's a family member or a friend, because it's always awkward in a corporate situation. You don't want to follow up with a client and be like, "Hey, did you get that gift I sent?"
that.
But you
Yeah.
want to know if they got it. And I can't tell you the number of times I followed up with somebody who has said, "Oh, yeah, like we had no idea who it was from." Or then they go and they look at the box and the recyclables and they're like, "Oh, I never would have seen that thing." So one of the packaging components of Sugarwish, the boxes are gorgeous, as you said, but I appreciate how easy it is for the sender to choose a card design. You can either upload your own or you can choose one of the great ones that you guys have. And then the message is there, and that is front and center when the recipient opens it. So it feels like, okay, you're loving on them when they get the email that or the text message that says, choose your Sugarwish. Then when they redeem it, they get another great message. And then when it arrives. So there's so many opportunities for that recipient to feel special and appreciated and loved on versus people who, to your point, it's like a total afterthought. Like they were like, oh, why would we need someone to know who this gift that was
Yeah.
sent to us from?
Right. No, I mean, those are just, again, I always try to think like, if I'm sending this, how do I want it to show up? So we create all cards, like this is one of our cards.
Very
And
cute.
they, so you're picking that and it comes with it. There's no extra. And there's so many to choose from, and you can upload your own with logos. We know it's important for you to represent your business. So, you can do this and put your logo on it. And so everyone, when you open it up, that note's there. You can also put your logo on the note and then your message. And it's also when they do open their email or their text or however you've sent it, that note's there too. So that's the little things that matter, and making sure they see the sentiment. Again, we know why you're sending gifts, and we're making sure that's front and center. So and we're constantly coming up with like ways to make our customers look good. Like if we can help with the design, we have now like a design suite. You can put it through and you can mess with the colors, you can move your logo, you can move the wording. So it really represents you and what you're trying, whether it's an event and you're thanking them for being there or it's an employee's birthday. We know it matters why you're sending it. And so we try to provide things that make sure your message really comes through. And
I
that's
read in
always included. So that there's no extra cost for that ever.
Yeah, I love that. It's one of those things that
Yeah.
again, you once you experience it as part of it, you notice it more elsewhere. When you're like, "Wait, why?" It's like when you feel nickeled and dimed with, Ticketmaster fees or
Right.
airline
Another,
fees or
right,
whatever.
right. Well, the other is some companies have where you can deliver like an email notification, but it doesn't let you choose what date. So I was just sending something the other day to my mother. So, I also sent her a bottle of Sugarwish wine for her to pick which bottle she wants. But I was another company, a shirt she wanted, and it had an email delivery, but it like sent it instantly. And I was like, I don't want the note to come before the gift. That ruins the surprise of the gift. So it's just like people do different components, but they're not quite coming all together. And so we agonize over making sure everything is done the way that makes sense for gifting.
Yeah, I love
So,
that. I read or watched in an interview you had done somewhere before where you said, in entrepreneurship, there's so much talk and thought around like think big, think big, think big. And you're constantly saying to your team, think little, think little, think little, because that detail, that level of execution, that intentionality is what has been such a catalyst for your growth. And also for the fact that you legit have super fans. Like you have customers who just rave about you because you're not just thinking big, you're also thinking little.
when I'd say internally, it can come off that Leslie and I are kind of pains in the butt because we're like agonizing over every picture and emails and social media and we just want to make sure it's delightful in every touch. And then people are like, "Really? You care about like what it says right here on the box?" And I'm like, "Yes, the little things are the big things. Like that's what makes us different." And people care about making sure that everything is thought of. And so that's, as gift experts, you're trusting us to do something very important for you, and we take it very seriously. Yeah.
As an outsider and as a customer, I'll go on the record for anybody on your team that you need to play this clip for. Thank you. We appreciate
Yeah,
it.
thanks.
Speaking as
Thanks.
somebody outside of the company,
Yeah,
thank
yeah.
you
And
for
our team is
dragging us
all
into
that way
this
too.
world.
So I'm making a joke. Like our team is almost like they'll do it even more than us. We just have fantastic people who know that what we do makes a difference and changes people's days and months and the way they feel. So they take it to heart that it matters to them, that it's such an important part to be involved in people's lives.
I love it. Does
Yeah.
anybody on your team, is there anybody that works for you now that found out about the company because they were the recipient of a Sugar Wish and then said,
Oh,
"What's
for
this
sure.
company all about? I need to learn
Yes,
more."
we have people reach out all the time, like, "I would love to be a part of this, like, you gave joy, to my sister in a hard time," or, we just the super fans aspect, what as super fans have built Sugarwish, like, we have paid for advertising, we have done Google ads, we've boosted our social, but almost all of our customers come from they were receivers, and then or they start sending sugar wishes and then they tell other people, or and so we know that's the most important thing, is to keep our fans, super fans, our customers are all very happy because they've made us what we are today, and they continue, and we're really thankful. This is like our dream, and our customers have been the reason we've grown, and so it feels amazing. And we want to do everything we can to make sure they consistently feel that way.
That's incredible.
So,
So
yeah.
now that you're over a decade in, you've got a team, what are some of the things that you do to make sure you're staying close to that customer experience?
I run our social, like I'm involved with our emails and the website, like, and Leslie as well. The reason I like to do socials, I like to hear what people are saying and see it and feel it and interact with customers. It's important to me, the good and the bad, especially with AI right now. It's important to me that we are who we are and it's real and you can feel a person behind it. Like I was doing it from day one and I still do it. And it's kind of crazy that I am involved with like some of the stuff I am, but I enjoy it and it makes me feel like I have a relationship with our customers, and then I can hear their what they want firsthand. I love that aspect. Like truly the social aspect of it.
Well, I
So
I love that answer, and I love that it gives permission to everybody listening to hold on to the things that they love. And I know, as a founder, you start a company and then all of a sudden you're like, "Oh, I have all of these responsibilities that I never would have thought of, never would have been a million years signed up for." But that's what happens as companies grow and scale. I had a similar experience when I scaled the agency that I had built to, we were probably at like 12, 15 people at the time. It was to the point where it was insane that I was holding on to some of the things that I was holding on to, in
Yeah.
particular writing. And I'm a writer. I love to write. And
Yeah.
so was it the logical thing for me to be the one who was interviewing bands and writing sometimes like 35,000 words for these giant coffee table books or collectible things?
Right.
No, it was totally crazy. But I loved it, and I didn't mind working on it from 11 p.m. to 4 a.m. after everything else was done. And so, there's so many people out there who say, you got to buy back all your time, and, don't pay more than your hourly rate for the things that you can outsource, and blah, blah, blah. And while I think that is good advice sometimes, I also think that one of the brilliant things about growing and founding a company is you get to decide what you want your job to be, and you get to create a model that works for you. And so I hope some people out here that are listening right now heard that as permission of, even if people tell you you shouldn't be doing this or you should let go of that, if it's something that keeps you connected to your customer base, gives you the research that you need, like, you're the boss. You get to decide what you want to hand off and what is more valuable for you to keep close.
100%. And that would be really advice I would give people that, like, there's so many hard things and so many things what gave you joy in the beginning. So you have this great idea, so fun, you're so passionate, you're designing things, you're working on your website, your packaging, whatever you're doing. And then it does become, all the stuff that wasn't why you started in the first place, or what that aha moment was. And you do get bogged down doing all of that for majority of the time. And if you let go of the thing that gave you joy in the first place, and kind of like, you can talk about your genius. But if marketing is something that gives you more fire, or the socials, or talking to customers, like, I love talking to customers, and like, I get off the phone when I'm done here, I have a call. We try to have meetings with our superfans, our customers, and really get what they want, and hear from them. And that gives me fire and energy, and why this many years later, I still love not every part of what I do, but overall love it much more than if I gave away those things that gave me joy. But I love them too much, and they do give me the energy to be good at everything. Like, Leslie and I will joke sometimes when we do a social post, or we have an email idea, and then sometimes we're like, that one's, people may or may not get that, but that one's for us. That made us laugh. That made us smile. It just keeps it fun. And I think that's so important.
I love that. I know one of the other things that you get a lot of joy from, that brings a lot of purpose, not just you, but everyone on your team, is your partnership with Make-A-Wish. Can you talk a little bit more about how that came about and how meaningful that's been to you as you've grown the company?
For sure. Yeah, Make-A-Wish, right when we started, and we know the whole point is like sending a smile, making someone happy. That's what we constantly talk about, like the whole point of sending a gift. And we always say we started off thinking we were a gifting company, but as we saw why people send gifts, and kind of getting to see, like, I kind of stalk every day the people's responses and thank you notes. Like with Sugarwish, you get to send a thank you note back to the person who sent it to you. We call that our gratitude board. They can check the board. So we get to see all this goodness and people spreading kindness and happiness. So we always say we started off thinking we were a gifting company and ended up in the happiness business. And that's really what we're about. And so for us, like, if we close down tomorrow, what was the whole point that we did all of this? And it was to kind of change people's life one smile at a time, and the world a little bit, just add more kindness and goodness. And Make-A-Wish, they're doing such amazing things, and they change, children's lives with just granting wishes. And it just so aligned with what we do. And so it was always our dream partnership to be able to donate to and be a partner with Make-A-Wish. So now 5 years ago, we grew big enough where we could be a national partner and really make a difference and gift, so so many gifts to change children's lives. And so we're really proud of that. And it means everything to us that we can help make a difference.
You
Uh,
should be very proud. Thank you
yes.
for all the
Um,
great work that you do with them.
yeah, we love it. And what the great work they're doing that we just get to be a part of. But so often they'll let children know that their wish is being granted with a sugar wish. And then we get to, there's nothing better than that we get to see the joy.
That is so
Yeah.
cool, and it sort of elongates that experience and stretches that magic of, is it already the best thing to find out that your wish is granted? Yes, but
Right.
if it's happening and then you've got, something fun,
Yeah,
that's such a
exactly.
great moment.
It's that anticipation, like the anticipation and then waiting for it to come to your door and then seeing again what you picked and just fun. So
Exactly.
we
Well,
love
I'm
it.
glad you mentioned the gratitude wall. That's something that's really cool. So when somebody receives a sugar wish and they make their choices, they have the opportunity to leave essentially a thank you note for the person who sent it. And they don't have to, and it's, usually just like a quick message. But then on the giver side, you can go in as the sender and see pinned all of these notes. And it's so cool because mine now has like dozens and dozens and dozens. And it really is cool to be able to go in there and see, all of these people that you love, or all of these people that are meaningful to you, who've left these little notes for you, which is really, really cool. I'd love for you to talk a little bit about, I know you said that was sort of an aha moment you guys had as you were building it, something that you added later. I'd love for you to kind of talk about some of the evolution that has surprised you most of the categories that you've added. So you've gone beyond just the kid in a candy shop, and now it's, like you said, it's wine, it's candles, it's pantry goods, it's so many things. Alex on my team, who many people know because she's on the podcast from time to time, I was making fun of her because her most recent sugar wish for me, she got like spices or mustard, all these things that I was like, you're so healthy. I love this. I did not even know you could order like, I don't know, it was like preserves or something.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
for
so
sure.
I'd love for you
Yeah,
to kind of talk about the evolution of, as you've added these new categories, how you've made the choice of which categories to add, and maybe
yeah,
a little bit of like what we can expect in the future.
sure. So um candy we started with, and you get like 80 different choices and the fun of picking. And so but we always knew we wanted more to be able to do this experience that we created with more items as well. And so we really just listened to our customers and asked them what they wanted to see. So we went candy to popcorn, popcorn to cookies, then to coffee and tea. And then people started to ask us to combine categories. Oh, we have snacks. And a lot of it has come like first we had lots of just treats. And then we did have people like healthy, health conscious. We had a hospital that was like, we'd really like to, for our nurses, we'd really love to provide this experience, but just we want all healthy options. So then we did more snacks, and then people wanted. I'm trying to think what was next. Then we went from candles. That was our first like non food item, but it is something where you're the kind of the test of what it has to be. It has to be fun to pick. There has to be lots of choices, and it's also like what you gift, but you don't necessarily know what they like or don't. So I might want to gift you a candle, but I don't know if you hate lavender or you love lavender or you vanilla is like oh my god, don't give me anything vanilla, or you're like everything vanilla all the time. So those are kind of the thing, like something that's fun to pick, something you would like to gift people, but you might not know what it is. So we went candles, and then and wine is another one like that. Like you don't know. Do they hate reds? Are only a white wine drinker? What Pinots are their favorite? They hate Cabernets, whatever. So that we did wine tastings too, which are really fun and really popular because they come in they're just individual. I'll just grab it. Sorry to be off camera. But like they're individual tasting. And so we ended up working with this company, Vinebox, and each one has everything, and they're little tasting tubes of wine that you pour in and get the fun of kind of tasting all different ones. So people love getting to pick what they want there. And as of everything, like this is how the wine bottles show up, but we make sure it shows up in gorgeous packaging. And then the funniest one that we ended up doing was dog treats and bandanas and dog swag. But we were like, can we really call ourselves a happiness company and not have something with dogs? And we're huge dog lovers. And so, that's been one of the more fun categories, and people all like to talk about their dogs. So, and again, like you said, we have spa items and culinary items. We have, we're always trying new things and seeing and listening to our customers and what they want to see. But right now we're combining a lot of categories so people can pick both spa and candles together, and they can pick snacks and candy and cookies, brownies, and coffee and tea. So they could pick one coffee and one brownie to make the perfect experience. And the other thing we just did is like we do mugs right now. It's called Mug and Treats. And you can just order one mug if you want. You don't have to, usually with swag, you have to do 1,000. You can upload your logo, any image you want, and the mug will show up as a custom mug, and they pick like coffee, bakery goods with it, and then we deliver it together. So it's just another thing that companies were asking for, things that said their name, their things they're able to send, and expect to see a lot more of that this year, of more items that you're able to customize to send with your Sugar Wishes.
You heard it here first. Even
Yeah,
more
yeah,
corporate
yeah,
customization on the
yes,
way.
yeah.
Well, as we get closer to wrapping, Elisabeth, I'd love to know, is there anything that has really surprised you that you've learned about the way people gift or the occasions around which people gift? Anything that's really taken you by surprise?
The most exciting thing to see is when people do it just to tell people that they're thinking of them, or
Just
telling
because.
them they're great. So we have yesterday I posted on our social one of our cards, like our most popular cards. It's a fan and it's got hearts and it just says big fan. But it just people are good. People are, and we get to see it every day, that people just want to make people happy. They just want to put a smile on your face. They just want to, hey, you're having a bad day, I'm thinking about you. Those are the things that touch my heart the most, that it's just like, God, everybody's like people are just good. Like, just, you get to see that people are just doing it for no reason, for no gain other than to, hey, I thought of you. I thought of you today, and thought this would make you happy.
That's
So
so
I and
beautiful.
I think we need a lot more of that in everything. So I love it. Yeah.
I love that. I'm glad I'm not the only one who loves that big fan card. I also love to use that one. I thought it
Yeah,
was
that's right.
fabulous.
That's what I am. But when you are a big fan, like they said, like everybody wants a fan club, even if it has
Yeah,
one member.
I love it. So, Elizabeth,
So,
is there a company that you are a super fan or a big fan of right now? What's a product or a company that you're loving right now that more people should know about?
oh, I don't know if it's obscure, like that they don't know about, but I do feel I become super fans, and then I do go all in on the companies that consistently live up to what they say, and kind of, if they make a mistake, make it right. And so, just, I think Viore does a very nice job. It's all their things are quality. They stand behind it. Returns are easy. Some of their competitors, that isn't the case. Just, I feel like standing behind what you do and really making sure everything's quality. I think they do a very nice job, and there's a reason why they've grown. I mean, at any given day, this shirt is Viore. I mean, I know their stuff will fit good, look good, and last forever. So, once I'm a fan of something, you got me. So how about you? I'd love to know what brand that stands out for you.
Awesome. I love it. I should have an answer on tap for this, and I I'll tell
Like,
you.
wait a second.
I know. Well, I will tell you, again, this is not like a company that people don't know about, but one that consistently surprises me in all of the fun stuff that they do is Lego. And I've talked a lot about Lego. I've written a lot about Lego.
For
And
sure.
so I've got two little boys, and Lego just did a collab with Crocs, and they were like, we have to have the Lego Crocs because my boys also love Crocs. And so I was, where I was in like Oregon or Washington. I don't even know. I was like some state last week, and I was like, I gotta be there for the drop because they like sell out so fast. And they
Yeah.
were already sold out at crocs.com, but I was able to order them at lego.com, which is fun because usually at Lego, like if you hit a certain order threshold, there's like a bonus thing that they throw
Yeah.
in. And so anyway, I got home last night, gave the boys their Lego Crocs this morning, and it was just advertised as like a pair of, Lego branded Crocs, but they opened them up, and inside one of the shoes was a little special edition Crocs Lego minifig that they got to build. So it was like a little minifig, and then it came with like build your own shoes. So it looked like the Lego mini guy was wearing Crocs. And I have probably 100 examples of Lego doing things like that, whether it's at
See,
Legoland, whether
the little things are the big things.
yeah,
The
the
little
little
things are what
things
make
are the big
things.
things.
Then you're like,
And
it's
so,
that little thing. If they wouldn't have done it, it's just that little thing that made it that much better. Yeah,
yeah,
that
the thing that you're like,
yeah.
did I pay $90 for a pair of Crocs? Yes. Is that ridiculous? Yes. But did the like 58 extra cents that they
Yes,
spent to make that little
exactly.
minifig that my kids were like before school, they were so excited this morning. They were like putting the different little, and it's not
Yeah,
even a shoe. It's like a 1x1 stud and a 2x1 stud that's stacked together and put on the Lego
yeah,
guy's foot. But just little things like that. And
yeah.
so like the intention, like Lego, you talk about packaging. I don't know how much you order from lego.com, but if you
Well,
order anything.
I have a son who's now 23, but we'd have a lot more in our savings account if there wasn't for Lego.
Well, and
So,
the good news about Lego and Pokemon cards is they retain a lot of value. So
oh
I'm sure
yeah,
you see all the posts online that say like, if you have this Lego set or if you bought these
for
Pokemon
sure,
cards
for
or
sure.
whatever. So I'm like,
Yeah.
it's like a different kind of college fund that we're
So the little
investing into.
guys, again, now
But
we've gone on Lego, but the little guys, like when he was younger, I was like, save these. I know they're going to be worth, and they'd be all over. And then when he got older, now he's saved them. He's like, some of these are worth like $400 for one guy.
yeah, the secondary market around like the minifigures and the bricks is just wild. But so one of the really intentional things that Lego does, like if you order something from lego.com, it comes in just like a corrugated brown cardboard box with like nothing on it. And when you open it on one of the inside flaps, it says, why are our boxes so plain? This is
Yeah,
a choice that we make on
yeah,
purpose because so
cool.
many people order
Yeah,
Legos as gift. And we
yeah,
don't want to, they don't say we don't want to get stolen from your porch, although that's probably
yeah,
part of it. But they say
yeah.
we don't want to ruin the surprise.
Especially Legos. Yeah,
And
yeah,
so that's not just an
yeah.
intentional choice that they made, but one they then communicate to the customers
Right,
so that
right,
people aren't thinking, oh, Lego was too cheap to make the box look cool,
right,
or
right, right. Yeah,
they
that's
didn't do.
interesting.
So it's
Yeah,
like
that's cool.
there's
Yeah,
so many, like dozens and
yeah.
dozens of little things I could point to say like this was an intentional choice, and the
Cool.
messaging
I
around
love
it is
it.
really clear.
Yes,
So
yeah.
all right,
They're doing so much right.
they
Yeah,
absolutely are. Yes, definitely creating super fans across
yeah,
like
yeah.
every age category.
For sure, for sure.
Well, Elizabeth, thank you so much for joining us
Yeah.
today. Thank you for making the world a sweeter place. And before I let you go, I think you said you were going to have a special offer for our listeners. Is that correct?
Yes, yes. So everyone, we want you to go try, even if you send it to yourself, send a Sugarwish for no reason or for somebody's birthday or to, a team member who made you smile, and use the code superfans. And it'll give you on your first order $10 off. All of our pricing includes shipping. So anywhere in the United States, and it starts at $27 all in. So please do use that code and give us a shot. And I hope you're wowed with the whole experience, and you send a little joy to whoever you send it, whoever you send it to.
Well,
Yeah.
I appreciate you making that offer
Yeah.
available. And I think if you do try it, you will be wowed. And I love your idea of sending it to yourself. That's not something I thought of before. But yeah, you can. I mean, what a great way to test both sides of the experience, right? So for any
Exactly.
experimenters in the audience or people who want to be the control group. There you go.
Yeah.
$10
You
off.
just, you need a little Swedish fish in your life. It's yeah.
I love the little the like cherry Coke flavored gummies that are like a little bit like sugary sour. I'd forgotten those were a thing until a couple years ago when I
I
got a
love
Sugarwish,
them.
and I was like, these are so good. And now I always reserve at least one for the little
Yeah. And
Cherry
I
Coke.
give a shout out to these our strawberry bricks with like cream in them. Oh my God, they're so good.
Oh,
And
I'll have to
always
try
good
those.
Italian sugar. So
Awesome.
yes. All right. Well, thank you
Well,
so much. Thank you for having me. It's just I've learned so much. I do follow all your socials and see you just making a difference. And I've learned so much from your book and tell people about it all the time because I think
um,
it's amazing and I think what you're doing is fantastic.
well,
So thank
thank
you.
you for saying that. Thank you for coming on this show and for all the good you're putting out in the world. And hey, guys, thanks for listening to another episode of the
Yes.
Creating Superfans podcast. I'll see you next time.